All right. Hello, everybody. Mike here from Royal LePage Learning Services. I have Jamie on the line with me too. Jamie, you still there?
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Let's hope everybody else can. And there it goes live for me. Sorry, give me 1 second, Jamie. I have it playing back in an echo. There we go. Perfect. So thanks everybody so much for just typing in the chat, telling us where you're from. It helps me give Jamie a little bit of context about who the audience is. I want to remind everybody here that, if ever you need, sometimes people have buffering issues. There's all kinds of things can happen in these webinars. And often the solution to go to is to just do a page refresh. F5, Control R, sometimes on a laptop, this is a screenshot. I've had this screenshot for so long, but function F5, sometimes that's necessary to do that. So if you're having any buffering issues or anything like that, feel free to go ahead and just hit those keys. I do want to remind everybody also that, again, the webinar is recorded. It's here. It's, you can watch it afterwards if you need to. If you need to pause it, it's actually PVR'd as we go. So if you need to pause it, you can keep going with it, which is really nice. But I'm going to be monitoring the chat, and we'll have a little bit of time for questions at the end. So Jamie, if you're all set to go, I'm ready to go.
I am ready to go, Mike.
All right, fantastic. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in today for this webinar, Pathway to Mastery. I'm going to let Jamie introduce the real topic here, but I want to give a quick little introduction to my team and what we do and why we do these webinars to you for Royal LePage. And that represents Royal LePage's promise to you, which is that we're going to help you maximize your earning potential by providing you with powerful business tools, access to leads and referrals, and training for all stages of your career that builds your skills and fills your sales pipeline. Of course, many of you on the webinar, many of you who have been with Royal LePage for years know how much of a strong relationship we have with Buffini Co. They've been our training partner since before I started, which was 10 years ago. They've been a great training partner, and they always look to how can we give more to the network. They're really awesome. And so, that's a big part of what we do, and that's a big part of what Buffini Co. does for you guys. Now, these webinars, again, it's all about enhancing sales development, learning from industry experts, and subjects that reflect what are happening in real estate right now. So you can find them, RLP Network, under training and webinar training. You'll see information on our webinar series. You can see the past recordings, all of that stuff as well. And without further ado, I want to introduce Jamie Nowak. She's the Director of Corporate Development with Buffini Co. I meant to put the logo in there, Jamie, darn. But she started her career as an agent in 1995 and has been a leading force in real estate for over 2 decades. She quickly began using the Buffini Co. referral system and essentially doubled her income every year she was in the business. Because of that, she was then asked to manage her office, where she used the exact same principles to reverse, get this, a 6-figure deficit and increase profitability and create a culture that was second to none, all within 16 months. Anybody who's seen Jamie present knows I can see how she would have had that effect in the office. As a result of that, of course, what ended up happening? Well, Brian recruited her to join Buffini Co. in 2004, bring her skills to a wider audience. She has trained thousands of professionals all across North America on how to build not just a profitable business, but a fulfilling life. And that's a really big part of what Buffini Co. delivers. So in her current role as Director of Corporate Development, she clears a path for industry leaders to build an irresistible office with healthy growth. Healthy, that's such a great word, and also inspires and motivates agents to become the very best in the business. And that's why, Jamie, I'll thank you so much right up front for giving your time to be with us here today.
Oh, Mike, thank you so much for that great introduction. I am excited to be here with all of you. Welcome to the webinar today. I first of all just want to congratulate you all and thank you all for showing up because I think that's half the battle in becoming a great success in whatever it is that we want to achieve in our lives, whether it's better health, better business, more highly qualified lead system and structure, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. But thanks for showing up. Congratulations on taking a little bit of time today to invest in your business. But I just love having the opportunity to speak with entrepreneurs. All of you are so very brave and you inspire me because you get out there every single day. You think about this. You wake up every day unemployed, right? Without the promise of a paycheck or any benefits of paid vacation, anything like that. You get out there and you get after your hopes and your dreams and you make things happen in this incredible industry of real estate. And that is inspiring to me. And the reason that I have the honor and the opportunity to be here today is because I've walked in your shoes. Now, I first found Mr. Brian Buffini as a brand new agent, and I'll share a few pictures here with you that pain me a little bit to show you. But you can see here, I found him as a brand new agent, and my career at this point was going about as well as this picture looks. I'm not looking at the camera. I look like I have a pained look on my face. I'm holding a sold sign, hoping and praying that people would actually believe I could sell their largest real estate investment. If you can see my little dog, Bart, my little black dog down in the corner, left-hand corner, I'm trying to get him to stay up on the wall and sit next to me. So maybe people will trust me a little bit more if I've got a dog sitting next to me. I got all sorts of things going on. But when I found Brian, I was struggling just like this picture. And I was doing a few deals here and there, but I was never sure what was going to happen next month. And then I did find him and his systems, and I took them on board. And I listened to the Irish guy. And basically what happened was I did what he told me to do. And I know it can be scary. And so I started, making the phone calls he told me to make to the database and doing those pop buys that terrified me and writing some notes to check in on my clients or check in on people that I had relationships with. And over the next 2 years of being faithful and consistent, I became a Buffini Company success story. Oh, I love this picture too. There's the young Brian. And yes, I had a perm as well, apparently. I don't know how that happened, but I was having a great time working by referral. I loved these systems, and my business was going gangbusters. I was working with people I enjoyed working. I was working 35 hours a week. I was Brian's poster child for, working by referral and living the good life. And then, as Mike said, because I was doing so well in my business, they asked me to take over the struggling real estate office that I was part of. And honestly, I didn't know what P&L stood for at the time. I just knew that I wanted to help the people in my office, and I didn't want to see it go out of business. So I took over that leadership role, and I quickly unlearned everything I had learned in working by referral. I quickly forgot all the best practices. So I was trying to please everybody. I was bending over backwards more times than an Olympic gymnast to try to make people happy, to try to get things going. And we were in a downward spiral, as Mike mentioned, 6-figure deficit. I truly didn't know what I was getting into at the time. And then I was losing my balance and quality of life. Things were all over the place. And thankfully, I had my coach at Buffini Company. And I've always had my coach at Buffini Company. And at that point, she said to me, "What the frost are you doing? Why are you sacrificing your life and your boundaries and all the things you learned in working by referral to try to build up this office?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, you're right." So I went back to the fundamentals of these systems, and I started serving my agents, where I was investing in my relationships, I was standing out with service, and I was building my skills every single day so that I could help them to have a better experience in real estate. And over the next 18 months, with the help of my team and the agents that I was recruiting and the people that I had there already, we grew my office from 26 on the roster, which meant about 8 of them actually sold a house. And then we grew to 146 fired up real estate professionals in my town of Gilbert, Arizona. And so the only reason I share that with you, because my point is I've lived and I've worked this system. I've worked it as an agent. I've worked it as a broker and manager. And now today, since Brian Buffini asked me to come work with him in 2004, I've had the honor and the opportunity to train thousands of people all over the world. And there's no one more convicted than me. If you do this system, the system works. And you don't need an Irish accent to do it. So what a tremendous journey that I've had. And I'm here today because I've seen how people win in this business, and I've seen how people lose in this business. And I'm here today because I want to see you win. And as Mike said, we have a beautiful relationship with Royal LePage, just one of the most amazing real estate companies that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. Just a tremendous leadership team. And of course, when you have great people in leadership, that attracts great people like all of you that I'm talking with today. So what I want to do with you today is I want to give you, I want to talk a little bit about the pathway to mastery, because if we're not growing in our business and in our lives, we're dying. And mastery is not, I saw that one time, I heard that one time, I read the book, I saw the movie, I heard that girl or that guy speak, now I got it, now I know. No, mastery is about coming back every single day and getting just a little bit better than we were before. And that's why I applaud you for showing up to listen to what I have for you today, because that shows me that you're serious about this business, that you really want to seize your opportunity, and that whether you know it or not, you're up for being on the pathway to mastery. And this is about getting better a little bit every single day. So I think the best use of our time today, I've got about 45 minutes to share this content with you. Then we're going to take questions and answers. I'm going to cover the three primary problems that agents face in today's industry. And then we'll go over some solutions and strategies and tips that you can apply today to have a better life and a better business. So I'm ready to get going, and I'm going to dive in. And of course, we're going to dive in with the tough stuff, because we got to see what's in our way. And this isn't going to be a surprise to anybody out here, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the problem. I want to get to the solution. But the number one problem that agents face today are peaks and valleys in our income. Peaks and valleys. And the challenge, and I'll just share with you some numbers. Here's the other thing we face, is not knowing where the next lead is coming from. As I said, before I found Brian, I was freaking out every month. I may have had a great month last month, but I wasn't sure what was going to happen. And then our third big problem that we face is not being able to stand out from the competition today. And we got guys and girls down the street offering to sell their listings for $500 flat fees and all over the board. And so these are the three problems that I want to address. And as I promised, we'll get into solutions and strategies that you can take and go have a better business leaving this webinar today. So let's tackle the first one, peaks and valleys in our income. I don't need to tell you this if you've been in real estate for any amount of time. What we tend to do in real estate is we do anything we need to do to get that great lead, and we'll do it every day until we get that great lead, right? And we'll make phone calls we don't want to make, as I did, and we'll do pop-bys we don't want to do, or we'll go door knocking, or we'll cold call, or we'll take out, we'll do SEO on our website, or whatever they're throwing at us most recently. And we'll do whatever it takes so we can get some leads coming in. And then we'll put the deal together, right? And we'll have that transaction. And once we get that deal, our focus kind of shifts, and we're like, oh my gosh, I got to make sure this deal closes because I've already spent the commission, right? Before we've gotten to the closing table, of course. And so the state of the agent with that mentality of peaks and valleys, of I'll do what I have to do till I get that deal, and then, my focus shifts and changes, then we have a lot of valleys and not so many peaks, because we're not working like a business person, and it ends up only being month to month. And the best way I can illustrate this is the average agent income in our industry. And in the US, we've got our numbers. Right now, the average in real estate is $29,440, and that's gross. That's before they pay their broker. The Canadian numbers are a little bit higher, in the low 30s. So this is a problem. This is average in our industry. I always love to share the good side of this, because our average at Buffini Company, for those we coach one-to-one, it's a way better average. Average of $358,000. Our members sell 1 out of 7 homes in Canada. Amazing. They're doing great things. Okay, but what they've learned and what they implement and how they handle this problem of peaks and valleys in their income is they understand and know that all great businesses are built and created, and they last long term if they're built on relationships. And so I know you've heard this before, quite possibly, if you've heard myself or Brian or Joe or any one of us that work for the company speak. It is all about your database. And today more than ever, we believe that your connections and the value that you provide and the investments that you make in your relationships, This is your edge. This is your edge. And I'll share the stat with you. More than 80% of all transactions are through sphere of influence and repeat business. Boom. That is the truth. But yet, so many of us are out there, we're trying to find that next new thing, that next new shiny object, and looking for the new, looking for the next. And when 80% of all the business is happening from our database, from the people that know us and love us, and who they know, and who they're willing to refer you to. So I want to just take a moment here to talk about growing that database. Because if your pipeline right now of referrals or the business you have is slow or stagnant, there are two things that you can do today to make a better difference in your business. The first is to keep adding new good additions to your database. So I want to just take a moment, and I didn't have a slide for this, but I want you to think about who is not in your database right now that should be. I want you to think about all friends, all family members, the people that you meet throughout your day and throughout your week, the hobbies that you pursue, the business people that you refer, especially your preferred service providers. Are they in your database? Are you not being a secret agent when it comes to the people that know you and like you or love you? This is a big deal because think of it. Think of who they could end up with if it isn't you taking care of their money like it's your money. If it isn't you dealing openly and honestly with them throughout the transaction. So if your pipeline isn't where you want it to be, if the referrals you have are stagnant, they're slow, you got to continue to grow this database. So have a goal every single day on how many people I'll add to the database, or every week on how many great people you'll add to the database, where you'll ask them the question, listen, do you have a great realtor that you refer to? And if not, could I be that person? And 99 times out of 100, they'll be like, yeah, I have a great realtor, but I don't remember their name because they never stay in touch. Ask the question. And that's my other piece here. Ask for the business. If your pipeline isn't where you need it to be, if you're not getting the referrals you want to get, you got to ask, because people have no idea how our industry works. You've got to let them know that you're never too busy for any of their referrals. So once we have people into our database, I'm just going to give you a quick refresher if you've seen this before. And I just want to remind you, if you've seen this before, to look at it with fresh eyes. Look at how you can get just a little bit better in the implementation of these systems so that you can reap the rewards of a steady stream of high quality leads. So let's take a look at how we prioritize those people that are in our database. Now I'll put this all up here for you so you can take a look at it. You can take a picture of it. You can take some notes. But it's really important that we're not giving an equal amount of time and energy and effort to everyone. I want you to find your best of the best. And that starts in the middle of the bullseye. Those are your A-pluses that have sent you multiple referrals. These are your walking, talking billboards. Your A's are most likely to refer you. Your B's would refer you if you actually ask them. So you see that that's in bold because a lot of people don't want to ask. And then we got to let them know how. So the way that we do that is, listen, I'm never too busy for a referral to another great person like you. Just give me a call or send me a text with their name and their information, and I'll be happy to follow up and give them excellent service. Or I'll keep you posted. I'll let them know maybe they just have questions to start out with, and I'll keep you posted. Really important to ask. Your C's might refer you in the future. Your O's are any online contacts. And then your D's are to be deleted from your database. Now, I could spend an entire 45 minutes just on your D's, but I don't think I need to. I just need to remind you, if the red flags are going off in your belly, do not work with this person. Do not work with this person, because they have the makings, or they have all the trimmings of that French term of jackass. Then delete them. Delete them early. Delete them often. But I understand what happens if we don't have enough leads, if we don't have enough opportunities. We'll work with whoever we have to. That's why it's most important that you're continuing to up your opportunity. And we do that by working the system. This is how we overcome the peaks and valleys. And truly, we earn the right to ask people, because we're working a system that serves people to the deepest level. And we're not just meeting transactional needs, but we're meeting the emotional need as well. So let's take a look at this brilliant and beautiful system, one that myself and thousands of other professionals like you have implemented in their own business and in their own life, and they have completely transformed it. Completely transformed it. Now, if you're brand new to real estate, please don't get overwhelmed by this. I want you to pick and choose one or two things that you hear today that you're going to go and you're going to make a habit of doing it, and you're going to be lit up by it, and you're going to go make something happen in your business. And if you've seen this before, once again, I implore you, let's get a little bit better at being effective in this system. So here it is in a nutshell. We are using 3 methodologies to stand out from our competition. We're using 3 different methodologies. This actually solves all of the problems that agents face. These 3 different methodologies help us generate a steady stream of high quality leads. These 3 methodologies help us avoid those peaks and valleys in our income, because if we'll continue to do these activities, even when we do have that blessed transaction, then we know if we do the work, the business will come. It won't be overnight. I don't have 8-minute abs here for you. I do not have the quick get rich quick scheme. I look for my abs for 8 minutes. That's not what we're doing here today. This is a business system. This is a lifestyle. This is how we work. And this, in fact, as I mentioned, is your edge in today's marketplace. So we're going to target market your database. Those beautiful people I just talked about, your A pluses, your A's, your B's. We're going to reach out. We're going to contact them. We're going to send snail mail. When you do that, most agents do not do that consistently anymore. I think the latest numbers I just saw, maybe 16% of agents stay in touch on a consistent basis, and that's being generous. But we're going to mail out once a month to our entire database, hopefully. Now, again, if you've been in the business for 25 years and you have a list of 15,000, that's not who I'm looking to mail out to. I'm looking for you to choose and sort and qualify to get to your top 100 to 300 people is what I'm looking for here as I'm talking about these 3 methodologies. 15,000 is a mile wide, and your efforts and your focus are diffused. I'm looking to go a mile deep with my most important relationships, and then I'm looking to bring some of those C's that are new additions that would refer me maybe. I'm looking to move them up. I'm looking to move those O's up if I can to a B or an A. And that's what this system does. It builds rapport. It brings people along. It provides great value. So we're going to send out something in the mail. And then in the mid-month, we're going to follow up with an email that gives along the same lines, along the same subject matter that we sent out earlier. So again, it's systematized. And of course, Buffini Company provides all this for you. And I have many members here on the call today, so I don't have to regurgitate that for you. But we get it all done for you. The only thing we cannot do is the calls, which is where you proactively reach out, connect with people. They're starving for connection in our overly connected world. They're starving for that real, authentic connection. Reach out. Now, remember, those calls, those are reserved for the B's and the A's and the A pluses. Probably not the newer additions unless you're trying to see if that C or O is a prospect. Okay? And in fact, if you call behind something that you send, by the way, I'll just add this little tip in for you. It's 7 times more effective. Even if you leave a message, even if they never answer, you showed that you are different because you actually picked up that smartphone you hold in your hands every single day and you made a phone call with it. Congratulations. You're reaching out and you're trying to say, hey, can I help you in any way? Did you get what I sent you? I want to keep providing you great value, and I'm here for anything that you need. So the contact is a big piece. The care, and again, I could do a 3-hour deal. Yes. Mike.
Sorry, you were cutting out for me a little bit, and I feel like that was really important. So I just wonder if you could just repeat the last few sentences about the script that you were giving there, because I really want to make sure that that gets recorded. I don't know, it doesn't seem nobody's complaining about it, but it was cutting out for me. So
okay, so the script as far as the calls being 7 times more effective.
Yeah, and then you said something right after that that I thought sounded.
It was brilliant, right? I wish I could remember what it was.
Darn it.
Well, so when you make a phone call, you are setting yourself apart. You are connecting with somebody to a much deeper level than poking them on Facebook or doing a thumbs up or anything else. The phone call, it actually shows that you're interested in providing great value. You're saying, I want you to know I value you. I'm here to help you to the deepest level. I'm here if you have any questions or concerns. If you need a great roofer, I can help you with that too, because I'm well connected in our real estate community. So the call is such a difference maker. So please don't skip that. A lot of people skip it. They just rely on what you're sending out. And this is really a stacking effect that if you do more and more of this stuff more consistently, you're going to get a much greater rate of return. You're going to have a much larger opportunity of great referrals of people you actually want to work with instead of worrying about where your next lead is going to come from.
Thank you, Jamie. Sorry.
Yeah.
Apparently it was all good out there, but it was just me.
Oh, so. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
Good. So they got it twice.
Great. So there's nothing wrong with repetition, let me tell you.
Exactly.
So care is the next piece here. And again, I don't have the time to give it that it deserves. Personal notes are by far the most powerful way right now and the least expensive way you can deepen a relationship. So we recommend doing that on a regular basis. And then you can do these with anybody in your database. Pop buys are where we're going to pop by. We're going to bring a little item of value. Doesn't have to be anything big. It could be your local jam from your favorite person making jam, or coffee beans, or it could be microwave popcorn package where it gives you a reason. It gives you a reason to pop by, and that's reserved for your A's and A pluses. Video is a great way to show people you care. You can do video to one individual. You can do video to a group. A lot of our best members do like a market update every month that their clients look forward to because everybody's interested to know what's happening in real estate. So video is a great way to, again, stand out, to show that you're a professional in the marketplace, and to show that you care. And then where we really want to get to with our A's and A pluses especially is the community factor, where we're getting together from time to time, we're breaking bread, we're having some parties. And with social media too, you can do this. If you've got your A's and A pluses in private Facebook groups and different things, you can serve them to a deeper level. You can offer them great opportunities to gather together to learn and grow and provide great value. So this is what we do consistently every single day to the people in our database. And we have then a consistent level of contact with and care for these people, which, as I've promised, leads to a steady stream of high quality leads and referrals from their friends to their friends, their associates. It's great stuff. So I mentioned the Pathway to Mastery because we've just launched this beautiful training program, and Brian covers those 3 C's that I just talked to you about much, much deeper in the 2 first modules of the Pathway to Mastery after the introduction module. So you can go deeper. We've had 7,200 students already take this program, and it just launched in January. They're loving it. And he really dives into those 3 C's in module 1, where he talks about the law of the harvest, and then module 2 with the stacking effect. We're all about creating a steady stream of high quality leads for your business. All right, next, let's talk about not knowing where the next lead comes from. This is our second greatest struggle in this industry, and I know you can feel me on this. We've all experienced this. What I really want to cover, and I'm going to do this pretty quickly, but I know you've got a lot of disruptors coming into Canada right now. I know that there is there's some rustling going on and people are kind of freaked out about it. So I want to just take a moment and share with you, when is a lead not a lead? And I want to show you this little thing that we have. And since I know normally we'll share Canadian stats. Right now I'm going to share the stats from the States, because we have been dealing with these disruptors for a few years longer. So I just want to share with you, I want to give you some comfort here, basically. Let's take a look at when a lead is not a lead. In 2011, just so you're aware, we had 4.8 million transactions here in the States, and allegedly, from these disruptors, there were 4.5 million online leads that people paid for. 2017, 5.51 million transactions happened, and there were 87 million online leads that people in our industry paid for that year. can you see that the return on investment is not great? Their numbers keep going up as far as the online lead, but yet the transaction numbers aren't really going up that high. In 2018, we had 4.34 million transactions, which is awesome. And agents out there paid for 100 million online leads that never closed. In fact, if you do the math here, you'll see that those online leads account for less than 0.5% of the amount of transactions that were done in 2018. So let's look a little bit deeper. When is a lead not a lead? Well, a lead is not a lead when it's just an impression. So I want to share this with you a little bit because this is important. Because when they're talking about leads, what they may be talking about are just impressions. This is just traffic. This is just eyeballs. This is like when we look at Facebook here. You can see on the side all the way over to the right. These people pay for the opportunity for you to glance over and your eyeballs will click in there. You can also see that we're coming to Toronto. So I hope to see you all there December 3rd and 4th. But my point is they pay for impressions. They pay for impressions. Next, it moves from an impression quite possibly to an inquiry. And this is where a person responds to an offer. For example, Walmart puts out a 10% off a single order, and maybe somebody would click through, or maybe they wouldn't. But it's out there, it gets eyeballs, it gets impressions, and then possibly somebody clicks on it to use it or not use it. That's an inquiry. We're still not yet to the lead. Once we go from the inquiry, we go to curious. People get curious and they get seeing that email over and over again from that company because they gave their email address somewhere along the line. And then maybe they click on something that's interesting to them and they respond to a repeated inquiry, or they unsubscribe at that point, right? How many of us have done that? All of us. Still, we're not at lead status. People are just curious. They may or may not move forward. Now we're at a prospect. Now people move from curious to being a prospect where they've given an email and a phone number. But please know that we're not yet at lead status. We begin to be at lead status once we have that email and that phone number, and we have a person in our business that's ready, willing, and able to buy or sell. That's a qualified opportunity. And what these disruptors are doing is they're saying they're selling leads when all they're really selling are impressions. And you can't eat impressions. I just want to point that out. And once we move that lead forward, that lead becomes a customer, and that becomes somebody that you actually do business with. And then our goal is to turn them into advocates that will work with us again, and that will send their work, people they work with, the people that they live with, their friends, their family members, their work associates. So just understand when a lead is not a lead. These disruptors are selling impressions. Just make sure whatever you're investing in today is truly for actual leads and you're getting a return on your investment. Because I want to give you the solution to not knowing where your next lead is coming from. It's not throwing a bunch of money at all different sources to see what sticks. It's actually as simple as this beautiful principle right here. It's taking the system I showed you earlier, the contact, the care, and the community, focusing in on your database, and it's giving great value. It's asking for the business, and then it's opening yourself up to receive the business. So I just want to show you another slide here. That this is right here in front of you, I think is one of the greatest things I'm giving you today. And this is the vital signs of working by referral. I just went to the doctor the other day, and I'm happy to report that I'm in excellent health. They took all my vital stats, right? They take the blood pressure. They make you get on that scale with all your clothes and your shoes on, but I'm not bitter about that at all. And, you know, they bring you through the things so they can get your vital signs, making sure your heart is beating the way it's supposed to be beating, and the blood pressure is good, and all those things. You're not in any danger area. These are the vital signs of working by referral. So the great news about what I'm sharing with you right here is, if you don't currently have the business that you want to have in working by referral, as I mentioned, if it's stagnant, if it's struggling, one of these things is off. And so I challenge you to look at this to say, okay, what am I not doing on a consistent basis that I could be doing that would increase my opportunity and increase my connection and my value that I provide to people? So you can see up at the top, you have to keep adding people to your database. This is a non-negotiable. This doesn't stop because you've been in the industry for 25 years. You have to keep looking for great people to add that would be possibly willing to give you a great referral. And then once we add them, as I mentioned, we've got to build those relationships by giving excellent service when we get to work with people. And even when we're not working with them, every month we're providing tidbits and items of value and tips that they can take and go use to make their property better for sale, to make their credit better so they could actually buy something. You know, all of these things so we can show that we're the trusted advisor for them. So we can show that we're the person that they want to call when they have a need or a question in buying or selling real estate. And because we've given and because we've provided value, we can then ask for that referral. And I'll tell you again, remember, you know what? Business is great, but I'm never too busy for a referral to another great person like you. I'm always looking to grow my business with other great people like you. And then make sure you open yourself up to receive referrals, because a lot of times we give off not that energy when we're out there in the marketplace, when we're seeing our people that we know, and they're like, how's business? And you're like, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. You know, all my buyers they're all under contract and my listings are all under contract. And now I have no business going on, or this challenge is happening in this transaction. I can't believe that this person did this. We're not giving out that energy that, yes, I would love to receive your referrals. So just make sure that you are bringing that great energy. That, yeah, business is great. It could be a little bit busy, but I'm never too busy for referrals to other great people like you. And then make sure, step number 6, that you acknowledge and appreciate that referrer immediately. With the personal note is the best way to do it. You don't have to send them like a large gift basket or anything. For me in my own business, I sent a $5 Starbucks card because that was my drug of choice at the time. You know, Timmy Hortons is a great one too, right? So acknowledge and appreciate the referrer. A personal note is great. I appreciate your support and confidence. I'm going to take excellent care of Heather and Jason. And then we're going to go about turning that new lead into an advocate. So take a picture of this screen. These are your vital signs to working by referral. And this is how we create the certainty that moves people from being a possible prospect to an advocate that refers. I love this quote from Mary Kay Ash, who is one of my success stories for sure. Especially as a woman. She took everything she had as a successful corporate woman, single mom, and she kept getting overlooked for promotions and things. And she's like, I got to go do something else. She bet on herself. She invested in a great idea, took everything she had, and she created the legacy of Mary Kay, which now serves millions and billions of women all over the world. And what she says is pretend that every single person you meet has a sign around his or her neck that says, make me feel important. And not only will you succeed in sales, but you'll succeed in life. Love that. And I believe that this quote right here is the embodiment of working by referral. Giving, asking, receiving. The next piece, the next solution to not knowing where your next lead comes from is make sure you're running your business like a business. So often we get into this industry and nobody taught us how to run a business. I certainly didn't get that class. I didn't know that cash flow and profits were not the same thing. I didn't know that I couldn't spend my entire check without putting a certain percentage aside to contribute to my taxation. So I learned the hard way by making monthly installment payments for a while. So we want to help you run your business like a business. And the way that we do that is we have a set of short, mid, and long range goals for your business. And then, of course, at Buffini Company, we treat the whole person. We want to get you to having those same types of goals for your life as well, for your personal life, for your health, for your finances. But really, those short-term goals, they get you going. Like if you're in a rut right now, you need to set some 10-day goals to just kind of break through any plateau and get you moving. That's what 10-day goals do. Make sure they're easy to accomplish. Make sure it's something that might be weighing on you. Let's just get them done. Those mid-range goals may be for a month out or 90 days out. So you've got to have some of those to say, okay, 90 days from now, how many transactions would I like to have in my pipeline? Where do I need to be in regards to the number of transactions that I have for the year so I can get to my goal? And then those long-range goals are very, very important, whether that's having the yearly goal that you want to achieve, but also beyond that. What do the next 2 to 3 to 4 years look like for you in this business? So having that great set of goals is it's your true north. It's like, what's really important to me? The next piece is instituting a business budget. Oh, now I know what I just said, and you're all groaning because it took me 7 years with a coach to institute a business budget. Because like me, like so many of you, we're free spirits. We're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to restrict myself. I don't want to put myself in a cage with my money, right? And I don't know about you, but I was given a beautiful gift to be able to spend way more than I ever made, for sure. So, but we got to get control of it. Running your business like a business, we got to institute that business budget. And then the thing I get to talk about all the time, and maybe this is something I can share the next time I'm on with all of you, is really getting to what's truly important. Where we're planning the month, we're scheduling the week, and we're prioritizing the day. So we can make sure that whatever we're participating in right now makes the difference in our business or in our life. And I know it's something we all struggle with because of the crazy, chaotic nature of this beautiful industry. So I want to just share with you again on that pathway to mastery. Of course, we dive into building your own business plan. And in module 6, there's goal setting. In module 7, there's financial management, helping you with that budget. And module 8 is all about time management. So yes, we have what you need if you need a little more direction in this area. And now I'm going to tackle our third main challenge, which is not being able to stand out from the competition. Especially today, we've got a million different competitors out there. There's a lot of people that are focusing in on doing it for less. We've got a lot of companies coming to the table, trying to remove the agent from the middle of the transaction. And there's a lot happening out there. But I'm telling you, we got to focus on what we actually have control over, and we can stand out from the competition. But because it's such a, oh my gosh, how do I? We got people out there in the marketplace that end up trying to stand out in different ways, like this lady. So hunting for real estate, and this is her way to stand out from the competition. I don't know if she's a cougar or what, but this is not screaming professional real estate agent to me. Next, sorry, had to have a little fun. And this gets even better. This is a company of realtors in Australia. And they decided that the way that they're going to stand out is to get naked behind their signs. So I don't know what's happening down under. I do not want to know what's happening. But I share this with you because we all struggle with this. Like, how do I set myself apart? I just don't think it's this way. I just don't think we're screaming pro here. This, I guess, fun. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. Let's keep going. And I'll share with you, I've talked about this a little bit already, the state of our industry right now, the amount of venture capital in real estate tech is staggering. So just to show you, in 2010, $30 million was being spent in the United States, was being invested in that venture capital to get us to buy all the technology that's going to help us in our business. Well, fast forward to 2017, 4.5 billion venture capital is being invested to create bright, shiny objects so that it will distract you from doing what really makes sense in your business to generate a high quality lead. And look, globally in 2017, $12 billion focused on venture capital to show that bright new shiny object that we all want in this business. To say, hey, you need this tech for this, that, and the other thing. Now, I showed you the return on investment earlier. Once again, if you have something that works for you, if you have something where you can prove a return on investment, well, good on you. Go after it. But this is real. It is dangerous. So let's take a look at what we can actually control. First thing is our skill. And that's our ability to do something with expertise. And never before have we seen such an unskilled industry, because a million things are changing, a million things are happening. People aren't necessarily up to date with what's happening. And so it's important that we're doing what we can do to build our skills every single day. I want to share with you real quick the top 3 reasons buyers and sellers want to use an agent. Well, it may surprise you that number 1 is their ability to negotiate for them. Get them the home for the best price or get their home sold for the best price. The second reason is they want a list of homes, or they want you to market their home. And the third thing is they want a professional, trusted advisor. There will be a few people that are going to shop on price, but it's not most people. So if you can stand out with your skill, for example, negotiation, we have got a module for that in the Pathway to Mastery. When you can stand out and you can show people how you were able to help their client or their friend in the negotiation phase when you're meeting with them, this makes all the difference. We need to keep building our skills, especially in negotiation, because it's a very referable character trait. It's a very referable skill. But beyond that, we're going to stand out with service. We're going to be different than the guy down the street. Now, don't make any mistake about it. Mike and I were talking about this before we went online today. Everybody thinks they stand out with service. Everybody will say they stand out with service. But here's a couple definitions. Standing out is a person of exceptional ability. And serving is to bestow the labor of body and mind to the benefit of another. Not self-serving, serving others, being exceptional in what we do. A couple companies that stand out that come to mind that have created critical mass for themselves on their ability to serve and their skill. FedEx, they have no problem articulating when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight. They articulate it in their tag statement, and most of the time they get it done. It isn't 100% for sure. And then, M&Ms, again, critical mass. They melt in your mouth, not in your hand. They provide a little happy zing when you have a little handful, but they stand out. This is how they stand out. Melts in your mouth, not in your hand. Absolutely positively has to be there overnight. I don't have to tell any of you the customer experience these days in most places is horrible. They don't even look at you when you walk in. They don't thank you when you're paying. And you probably got a little more good stuff happening in Canada because you guys are amazing and brilliant and you connect with each other. It's just a lot nicer is what I've learned. I've been to Canada a lot. And of course I live here, and it is a different deal, and it's a beautiful thing. But we're having a lot of challenges with our retail experience all over the globe. And the problem is, if people can't see the difference, they won't pay the difference. So we need to make sure that we're focusing on articulating our skills, the things that we're great at in the real estate transaction, and your service. So understand that there are 184 different tasks that you must complete successfully to close escrow on a transaction. Did you know that? I know some days you feel like your head's going to explode. It's because the 184 tasks have to get done, and they have to get done on a specific timeline, or you're in breach of contract. So we need to make sure that we're communicating our character and our competence, our skills, and the service we do provide. So when someone says, well, why are you charging 2.5% or whatever it is, 3.5% or 5% or 7%? Why are you charging that? And this other guy over here is charging that flat fee, or they're charging a much less fee. You need to be able to articulate why you're different, because if they can't see the difference, they won't pay the difference. And the interesting thing is, another study we just found in regards to consumer loyalty due to customer service. I want to share this with you. This could surprise you because we really thought it was the boomers. They are actually, 62% of them are really about their consumer loyalty. Gen Zers, 65%. Gen Xers, 68%. Millennials, look at that. The younger folks are all about loyalty if you serve them to the deepest level. And this is the new up and coming generation of home buyers and home sellers. Just a thought. So we want to make sure you're continuing to up your skills. So in the Pathway to Mastery, we have working with today's buyers, and we cover the 5 types of buyers and how they want to be served, because every one of them has a different need. We give you what to do. We give you what to say. It's all in there for you. And module 4 is how to sell a seller. So how to generate a seller, how to convert that person to actually sign on the bottom line, how to serve that seller to the deepest level. It isn't about putting a sign in the yard and walking away. That's not what this marketplace needs today. We need great professionals. Great professionals.
Hey, Jamie.
Yes.
I saw a great story for that on Facebook just recently, where an agent in LA had clients who were coming from 3 hours out of town, and he overheard them saying that they needed somebody to come in and check the water heater, and they were talking about getting there. And he actually interrupted. He said, "I'm sorry for listening in, but I heard you wanted to come in. Listen, my office is around the corner. I'm happy to come in and let these people do this, and I'll stay with them and make sure that everything's okay, and then I can report back to you." And their comments back was, "Oh, our last realtor would have never done that for us."
Exactly. So it's looking for those ways to personalize your service, especially with your A's and A pluses, right? Especially with the ones you're working with right now. Look for ways to do those unexpected extras. Like, I checked into the hotel the other day and they handed me a freshly baked chocolate chip cookie. Unexpected extra. After a day full of traveling, I'm like, you're my hero.
That's awesome.
Right? So anyway,
let's keep going.
So I'm just about there, Mike. I don't know if you want to share that video that I have that shows a little bit more about the Pathway to Mastery, but really that's how we can take what I've shared today and really, 45 minutes, obviously I've gone a little long because you could lock the doors. I could stay here for 3 hours and talk. But we believe one of the best ways we can help right now to eliminate those peaks and valleys in your business, to make sure you have certitude in where that next lead is coming from, and being able to really articulate your value and continue to build your skill and deliver that tremendous service so that they're happy to refer you to all their friends, family members, work associates, is with our brand new training program, the Pathway to Mastery Essentials. Just to give you a little more information, it's an 8-week deep dive into lead generation, into negotiation strategies, working with buyers and sellers, and great tips and tools and how to make your business better today while you continue to build that steady pipeline of high quality leads. Bottom line. So I don't know. Do you want to show the video or you want to skip over?
You know what I've done? I've shared the video into the chat. I'm going to share the video in the email afterwards as well. So that way they'll have done this, and half an hour from now, they'll be like, "Hey, right, that thing."
Beautiful. Beautiful. So
yeah.
here's the deal. The best way to take this program is with your mentor, who is your broker or manager or a great agent in your office that has received the training and put in the time and effort and energy to become certified to bring this to you, so you can take it with a small group of your peers and other professionals in your office. So if you're interested, check in and see if you've got a mentor in your Royal LePage office. We have a lot of beautiful mentors in Royal LePage that want to serve and help and really help you take your business to another level. And so we partner up together to share this with them so they can bring it to you, and you guys have a great experience together in that classroom environment. And that's, my hope and prayer is for every single person that's shown up today is that you'll take something that I shared with you today, that you'll work by referral, that you will see some of those great payoffs that I've talked about, not worrying about where that next lead is coming from. And in fact, receiving great referrals from great people that you've served in the past and great people that you'll serve in the future. This is the way to do real estate today and set yourself apart. And that's my hope and prayer for every single one of you. And we're here to help you every step of the way.
Now, Jamie.
Yes.
I'm actually working to get this content up on our intranet, the RLP network. Where can people go to find this? One question for you. And I'm going to also, by the way, before I answer that, I'm just going to remind people that we have some time to answer some questions. If you want to type some questions in the chat. So where can they go to find about this? And then where could they connect with Buffini and Company if they want to connect and interact with you guys?
That's a great question. So if you like to make the phone call and you want to speak to someone directly, you can call us at our 800 number, which is 1-800-945-3485, extension 2. And our team is standing by to answer any questions that you have. Or you can go to our website at buffiniandcompany.com/training, and you can check out the essentials training there. Essentially, the 8-week course, just so you're aware, is an investment of $395. And it's less than a cup of coffee a day, right? Mm-hmm. Where you get all the tools and all of the things that you need to target market your database. The only thing that we can't provide, obviously, is your own action, making those phone calls, writing those notes. We haven't figured out how to be able to do that for you. So it is a working by referral class, and working is the key piece there. But you got to do something in real estate, so it might as well be giving, asking, and receiving. And if you're a member of ours, you get the course at a $100 reduced fee, which is $295.
And is that that's US dollars, correct?
Yes.
Just since we're with Canadians. Okay.
Thank
just making
you.
sure. Just clarifying.
Thank
hey,
you.
Not a problem. And where could they connect? Where should they connect with you guys?
Buffiniandcompany.com, or go.
Buffini Co. Yeah.
And if you're not a friend of Brian Buffini or myself on Facebook or Instagram, please join us there, because we try to continue to bring great value and benefit and hope and inspiration via that way as well.
Yeah,
so
and that's thank you for that. Sorry, Facebook and Instagram, you're saying?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. Do we have any burning questions out there that I can answer?
Well, the only question is somebody saying, I got this module 4 weeks ago at $395. I see it now for $295. So I don't know if they're saying they're a member again. That means that you're already a member of the Buffini Company, their coaching programs and those things. And that's one thing that, I will add again to this also, the give, ask, receive. So if you want more giving from Buffini Company, you can get a free coaching session from them as well. We've had some of their coaches on. Carlos just last December, and
Dave.
Yeah, Dave McGee. We've had him on our webinars as well. So we've had a lot of coaches, and Brian, the umpire. Oh my God,
Billy.
It's Brian. Billy. Oh, Billy Van Rapport. Yes, yeah. He was fantastic. They were all fantastic, but I can't believe I blanked on his name. So you can go check out those webinars on RLP Network. They're in there as well. But also you can go try out a free coaching session. They're always Buffini's giving like crazy.
We do. So in terms of that, for sure, we live what we teach.
So in terms of Yulia's question, I assume that's the question. If you're a member, then you might need to try to call the number and talk with them. If you're not, of course, that is the regular price.
That's correct.
Yeah. Here's a question that I have, and maybe I've been in a lot of workshops lately with a lot of new agents, and they're hearing this message about bringing value, about giving value, about that. But I notice there's a hesitation with them because they're going, but I'm a new agent. Mm-hmm. How can I how do I bring that value? I think part of it is going, how do I bring that value that somebody doesn't already have?
Right.
Because my value isn't, my experience, my value is, so how can a new agent, somebody who literally got their license yesterday, come out and start giving that value?
Yeah, and I love this question, because I know that everybody struggles with that when they first get into any new pursuit, right? You're like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. Why would anybody work with me? I don't know why anybody would work with me. I'm new, right? And you feel like you've got this bright flashing light on your head. But here's what a new agent can absolutely bring. And this is the dialogue that I used to use is when I got in, because I was 24 years old, and I looked every bit of it. You saw my picture. I mean, I'm young, and so I would say, you know what, I am new, but what I am willing to bring to you, I'm going to devote 100% of my time, my energy, my effort on serving you to the deepest level. And, I'm never going to know the answer to every question that comes up, but I have, my broker, my support system in real estate. I have people that I can go to, and I will find the answers for you. And I will walk through this transaction with you. And I will be here not just during the transaction, but after the transaction to make sure that, because I'm here to build a relationship. I'm not here to just do this deal and go cash my check. I want to build a great relationship with you, and I want to serve you in such a way that you're just thrilled with everything I've done and you're happy to send me any referrals. So I don't know all the answers right now, but truly, neither does the 25-year-old veteran, the 25-year veteran. Every transaction we're doing these days is difficult. There's not an easy one anymore. And I don't know about you, but every transaction that I do, there's something new that you learn every single time. You're like, whoa, I had no idea that could happen. I had no idea that could be the consequence of that. All those things we learn every single day in this industry. And so it's just really that new person, you bring energy, you bring enthusiasm, and you bring a focus that you're like, listen, you know what? I am going to be with you every step of the way. I'm going to find the answers that we need, and I'm going to serve you in such a way that you are going to be excited to refer your friends, your family members, your work associates to me. And it's really just believing. I used to play a game with myself that as I was showing up to the door or I'm getting ready for a meeting with buyers in my head, now this is in my head, this is not out loud, to help with this, I'd say, you know what? It's their lucky day. It's their lucky day that I'm going to get to meet with them today, because I am going to treat their money like it's my money. I am going to be open and honest in my dealings. I am going to do everything I possibly can to serve them to the deepest level. And that's the heart that most of the people in our business have, and certainly the people on the call today. And so I would play a little game with myself and say, you know what? I'm terrified and I am not the most experienced, and they probably met with the most experienced, but I'm going to talk about why I'm different and why that's beneficial to them.
That's awesome.
I hope that helps.
That's awesome. I love that statement. It is their lucky day.
Yeah, it's their lucky day. You just don't say that out loud.
That's an amazing, but you know what? That is super true. That's really cool.
It's their mindset. Your mindset is most of it. That's most of what gets in our way of any kind of success in any area of our life. It's how we think about it, because then that determines how we're going to take action or not.
Now, are you ready for a very emphatic yes? Because I have one agent who's just asking, would this specific course be suitable for a new agent? And that is Raisha Koshbin from Royal LePage Signature out in Toronto.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter. That's the thing. If you're brand new, this is perfect for you. If you've been in this industry for 30 years, this works for you too, because the bottom line of any great business is all about the fundamentals. And nobody ever gave us permission to get away from the fundamentals. Yet we drift. And there's a reason right now why we've come out with essentials. And yes, we'll also follow with advanced, and we'll follow with mastery on the pathway. But we started with essentials because you have to start there. And that's what you always need to go back to. If you're in a crazy place in your business or in your life right now, when things are crazy and they feel out of control, the only way to get back to your foundation is to get grounded in the fundamentals of what is important today in your business. What is important today for your health? What is important right now for your family or this relationship that's in chaos? We've got to get back to the fundamentals, and that's what Essentials does.
And right now, Jamie, so there's a lot of mixed messages on realtors in Toronto. There was an article just a few weeks ago that had many agents in Toronto very upset, where an agent was pretty much saying, "Oh, I'm driving Uber to make money because real estate is getting slow." Which many realtors were like, "Wow, what a piece." But I know. You guys you guys say the hardest times in real estate, when things go quickly and the market's moving fast, it's the best time to make the worst habits.
Yep.
And if you're starting off and you're doing this kind of thing, and again, the nice thing with this is all the courses, all the training that every realtor has to get started, it's all about filling out forms and legalities. And this is about how do you do your day-to-day,
Well, that's how do I find a buyer or a seller to work with?
Right.
Because what? It doesn't matter if you know how to fill in all the blanks on the documents if you don't have a person that's interested in signing that once you fill it out.
Yep.
So we got to
Cool.
focus here on, creating that steady stream of high quality leads. So you don't, and God bless the people that have to take on another job while they try to build this.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I get it. The struggle is real. God bless them. But if you're in that spot, then I would think if you could just take 2 hours out of your day to focus 100% on what I shared with you today, you will come out of that need in the next month or two. It can happen. It does happen. I did it myself and thousands of others have, but you've got to have that focus to make it happen.
Well, one other question I had was around when we were talking about the lead sources and those things. And one of the things that I've seen from a few agents out in the markets that I've been in is around kind of how do I diversify my lead generation, like kind of my lead gen sources. That's the word I'm looking for.
Uh-huh.
So I've had it before where agents in Buffini session said, I feel really good. I grow my business by referral, but like my sphere of influence is not growing fast enough. Or other agents who are saying, I don't know. Again, maybe I've had a lot of new agents in my sessions who are going, I don't know. Do I focus lead gen? Do I talk to people? Like, where do I go to diversify the source? And I've also, FYI, had some offices where it seemed like they kind of put all their eggs in one basket, and then regulations changed. And they're going, oh, that basket got real empty real quick.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's just the warning that I want to give everybody is just do not abdicate your own lead generation. I know you feel like you have the need to diversify. I'm about being laser focused. And at the end of the day, relationships win the day. And that won't ever be taken away from you. That can't ever be taken away from you. The relationships that you build and the way you can diversify, if my database isn't growing fast enough, well, what are you doing actively to grow it is what I would ask. Because, are you gathering people together? Are you gathering a few A pluses together? And I don't know, we've got clients that gather them together and take them to play golf, or gather them together after giving them a great book that they love and then getting together to discuss that book, or whatever it is for you. Are you doing what you can? Are you reaching out to the business providers in your area and your service providers to have a discussion with them on the types of leads that they're looking for, and possibly have a reciprocal conversation of how you can help each other grow your businesses? I mean, there's a million ways to diversify how you grow that database, how you grow and build that team of advocates that wants to send you business. The thing we've seen here is when people abdicate their lead generation, that's when these disruptors get to take over. And that's when they get to charge you back for your own leads.
Right. And
when we give them control, they will take it. And it doesn't look good from there. So do not abdicate your lead generation. Focus on what you can control.
I was at Inman a number of years ago, and I noticed a big theme where everybody who was a disruptor in the industry, they all talked about data, big data, big data. We know this, know that, know this. Every person who went up was a luxury agent who focused, talked about personalized, individualized service.
Yep.
Service to the next level. And I said, wow, it's a very interesting dichotomy of saying, remove the person. And to be fair, that's what the tech companies want. Remove the first person, because if you remove the person, then we're all on the same level.
That's right.
Yeah.
But there's no app for that. When you remove that agent that has the heart to serve, that's walking people through that Poseidon adventure of a real estate transaction, I don't care what they say. There's no app for that. There is no app for that. So you just got to make sure that you're skilled in what you do, and that you articulate those skills that you bring, and you articulate that service that you provide as a benefit to them, because it is.
Yeah.
Because if you show up as a true pro and you are alongside that person that's just supposed to, like make sure the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, that won't get the transaction done.
Yeah.
That's not going to get it done. There's no app for that. Just make sure that you're upping your game.
Well, Jamie, I'm gonna remind people we are coming back in November. Jamie's coming back for us in November. I'm working on some webinars coming up in the next little bit, so watch for those webinars coming up. I have the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing. We're going to be coming up next week. But Jamie, from everybody on the webinar today, I want to say thank you for making this our lucky day. I feel blessed. It's you rock, and you know it. But thank you so much.
It is
Eh.
truly my blessing, Mike, to get to have the opportunity to speak and share. And I hope that I helped somebody today for sure. And I can't wait to talk to you again in November.
And good. Oh, by the way, FYI, just to close out the chat, somebody's just saying, thank you, Jamie. My first day of the Pathway to Mastery will be Tuesday.
All right.
So there you go. What a great way to start.
Yes.
Couldn't be better than that.
That's
so, all right,
beautiful.
we got the weekend with this webinar to get you in the weekend mindset. And then Tuesday, you're right into it. That's awesome. Well, so thanks everybody for tuning in. And thanks, Jamie. I'm going to stop the broadcast, but you'll be on for a little bit longer with me, I hope. So just hang on a second. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all so much. Have a great day.